Hey everybody, welcome to week 3 of the 8-week Perfectly Imperfect video blog challenge. It's perfectly imperfect. So I'm a little late in posting this one, in recording this one, because I've just been honestly procrastinating. I've been kind of resistant. There were a few exchanges after my last one that were uncomfortable. Graceful confrontation in one case, not so graceful in the other. And so I've been hesitant to record again. But what I'll say is that, the whole intention behind this particular challenge is to put yourself out there, is to be willing to not only be vulnerable and share of yourself and be straight, but to also connect with others. From my perspective, one of the things about social media that's just so remarkable, it's not going anywhere. It exploded. When it was MySpace, it got really big. When it was Facebook, it blew up and turned into Instagram and Pinterest and Snapchat and Twitter. And there's so much that is out there. And I don't know the order in which they all started, but I can tell you that they're not going away. And my mentality here is that it's because we need to connect. I can honestly say that in times when I was very lonely, in times when I was very overwhelmed, in times when life was just tough, it was great just to get on social media and kind of scroll through, especially my Facebook timeline or even my Instagram, and just look to see what was happening with other people. It took me out of myself. It took me out of the heaviness of what was on my own mind. And I think that is one of the reasons that social media is so prevalent, is that we are all just, one, in need of connection. It's human nature. Two, I think that it just helps us to walk this path of being there for each other. And it helps us to get out of our own way, There was a study that was done on addiction. And I found it to be so fascinating because I have been talking about the value of connection for a long, long time. And when I heard about this study, I couldn't wait to share it with other people who are in recovery like myself. And so I've been in recovery for over 32 years. And connection with other people in recovery is what has saved my life over and over again, many times. Just by being able and honored to help other people, just by listening or caring or being there. And this study that was done was this study they did on rats and heroin addiction. So there were 2 rats in a small cage, and they gave them heroin water. And what they were trying to establish is heroin addiction, specifically in this study, a physical addiction, or is it more emotional and soulful? So 2 rats, small little cage, heroin water. They became extremely addicted. They exhibited the behavior of addiction, of the jonesing for it, the needing to have it, the going to the water before they would go to the food. And over here on the other side of the lab was this incredibly large, elaborate cage with about 40 rats, and they had tunnels and tubes and wheels and just this really elaborate setup for this community of rats. And what they did once they realized that these 2 were physically addicted was put them in the larger cage with all of the other larger community. They put the heroin water in the larger cage as well, and not one of the other rats drank the heroin water. And these 2 little rats that were moved over, they did drink the heroin water, but only for like 2 days. Once they were a part of the community and they were getting that connection with a more fulfilling existence of other like-minded little critters, they were no longer in that need to basically fix or kind of numb out the feelings of disconnected or lonely or sad or frightened. So, this whole idea of putting yourself out there, it's not an easy thing to do. But it is something that is necessary. It is important that you not only share of who you are with at least someone that is healthy, someone that you trust, but also that you share of who you are, even if it's at a limited, more surface place, for those that might be just looking for connection, needing connection. Because like I said, it's not going away. It's human nature. This is something that has been there from the beginning of time and will be there till the end of time. Humanity is a place where we do need each other. And the last thing that I'll share is about theater therapy. So I'm a big fan of theater therapy. And there is a movie, now the name I'm drawing a blank, Into the Wild. And in this movie, Into the Wild, is probably one of the most powerful messages of what it's like to leave civilization, to be alone. It's an incredibly well done depiction, based on a book, of not only the need to kind of come into an awareness of yourself, but also the need for human connection. So those are my thoughts this week. It's always interesting to hear the feedback. For those who are kind of on board and listening and watching, thank you. And for those who disagree, thank you. I'm learning a lot from the discussions. So I'm just going to keep on going as bravely as I can and putting myself out there and embracing the connection that it brings. So thanks so much.